Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aprilia Syafnaning Tias from English Education Study Program, University of Nahdlatul Ulama Blitar. Today, I will review a journal by the title The Role of Prior Language in the Acquisition of English Language by the Indonesian Adult. This journal, published by Journal of English Education and Teaching or GEET, Volume 7, Number 3, page 745 up to 758. Year 2023. The writer is Andina Ciptawardani and Catur Keprianto. Reviewer Aprilia Syafnaning Tias. Review date 29 November 2023. This journal article consists of 5 parts. The first is abstract, the second introduction, the third research methodology, the fourth is findings and discussion, and the last is conclusion and suggestion. The first is abstract. It discusses the role of prior language in the acquisition of a second language by adults, particularly in the context of English language learning by Indonesian adults. The research aims to determine whether first language hinders or helps adults in acquiring second language and use questionnaires and voice records analyzed with the speech analyzer application as instruments. It is a descriptive qualitative research. Move to introduction. In the background section of the article, the authors discuss the challenge that adult learners face in acquiring a second language. They also highlight the importance of understanding the role of prior language in second language acquisition, as it can affect pronunciation, grammar, and communication strategies. The problem addressed in this journal is the role of prior language in the acquisition of a second language by Indonesian adults, specifically in the context of English language learning. The purpose of the research discussed in this journal is to analyze the role of prior language, the first language, in the acquisition of a second language by Indonesian adults, specifically in the context of English language learning. The research aims to determine whether first language hinders or helps adults in acquiring second language. Move to research methodology. The research methodology used in this journal is qualitative descriptive. The study aims to determine the role of prior language in the acquisition of a second language by Indonesian adults, particularly in the context of English language learning. The data collection method used is documentation and observation. The documentation method studies human communication records such as books, paintings, websites, and laws. The observation method involves receiving answers from respondents through Google Forms. The study examines the communication process that happened in a global construction company. The procedures of conducting this research is creating in the instruments. The instruments used are questionnaires via Google Form and voice record analyzed with the speech analyzer application. Move to findings. The journal presents several findings related to the role of prior language in the acquisition of a second language by Indonesian adults, specifically in the context of English language learning. Some of the key findings are: Indonesian adults use their first language knowledge as a reference to pronounce some words with the same meaning but slightly different spelling in English. Indonesian employees use any search in their prior language, such as the first language parser and the first language grammar structure, as their strategies to communicate in second language. More than half of the employees in the global construction company have insufficient English skills, which can lead to misunderstandings. Some respondents believe that grammar is unimportant as long as they can convey the idea in their minds. The use of articles in English is important to modify and number specific or non-specific nouns, which is different from bahasa. Adults have advantage in learning capacity, ability to analyze, pragmatic skill, greater knowledge of first language, and real-world knowledge. The research found that the similarities between first language and second language make the learner have fewer problems and that errors may occur, but only a few. The study also found that the respondents' educational background and age range vary, and some adults may already have acquired English in childhood, while some may not. Move to discussion. The discussion of the findings in this journal highlights the importance of understanding the role of prior language in the acquisition of a second language by Indonesian adults, particularly in the context of English language learning. The findings suggest that Indonesian adults use their first language knowledge as a reference to pronounce some word with the same meaning but slightly different spelling in English. The study also found the Indonesian employees use any source in their prior language, such as the first language parser and first language grammar structure, as their strategies to communicate in second language. However, more than half of the employees in the global contraction company have insufficient English skills, which can lead to misunderstandings. Some respondents believe that the grammar is unimportant as long as they can convey the idea in their minds. These findings highlight the importance of understanding the cultural and linguistic differences between first language and second language to avoid misunderstandings and miscommunications. These findings suggest that understanding the grammatical difference between the first language and second language is crucial for effective communication in second language. Overall, the findings suggest that adults have advantage in learning capacity, ability to analyze, pragmatic skills, greater knowledge of first language, and real-world knowledge. And the last part of this journal is conclusion and suggestion. The conclusion is prior language plays a significant role in second language acquisition for Indonesian adults. Participants in our study relate to their first language strategies, such as grammar and syntax, to communicate in English. However, this did not necessarily hinder their language learning process, as they were able to acquire English through a process of questioning, repeating, and referring to both first language and second language. Pronunciation and grammar were areas of difficulty for the participants, which led to misunderstandings in communication. Therefore, they suggest that language learning programs and policies should take into account the learner's first language and cultural background and provide targeted interaction in areas of difficulty, such as pronunciation and grammar. Furthermore, our research highlight the need for further investigation into the long-term effect of prior language on second language acquisition and the development of more effective language learning strategies and programs. Okay, the critical review for this journal. I found advantage. Firstly, research in qualitative descriptive, which means that we focus on understanding the experiences and perspective of Indonesian adults in acquiring English as a second language. This approach allows us to gain a deeper understanding of the role of prior language in second language acquisition and how it affects communication in a global construction company. Secondly, the research used a variety of data collection methods, including documentation, observation, questionnaires, interviews, and speech analyzer applications. This allows to gather rich and diverse data that can help us answer research questions and provide insight to the language learning process. Thirdly, the research has practical implications for language learning programs and policies. By understanding the role of paralanguage in second language acquisition, we can develop more effective language learning strategies and programs that take into account the learner's first language cultural background. And disadvantage for this journal, there are a few potential drawbacks to consider. Firstly, our study focused on a specific group of Indonesian adults who work in a global construction company. This means that our findings may not be generalizable to other population or contexts. Secondly, our research relies on self-reported data from the participants, which may be subject to bias or inaccuracies. For example, participants may overestimate their English proficiency or underreport their use of first language strategies. And thirdly, our research doesn't explore the long-term effect of paralanguage on second language acquisition. It would be interesting to investigate whether the use of the first language strategies in the early stage of language learning has a positive or negative impact on learners' long-term language proficiency. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.